Hello everyone, welcome back and a new English lesson. Our lesson today is reading, reading 7a, part 1. Dear students, here are the objectives of our lesson today. Communicate independently, a personal response to real and fictional situations. Understand and respond independently to the main ideas in longer and more complex texts. Understand and respond independently to detail in longer and more complex texts. Now, as usual, let's start our lesson with the warm-up. Dear students, here we have 3 pictures. Please look at the pictures carefully and try to guess what our lesson today will be about. Please try to find out a kind of relationship among these 3 pictures in order to guess what our lesson today will be about. Okay, let's ask a question about the first picture. What do you think is the device in the first picture? Okay, let's imagine together that the device in the first picture was the device that was responsible for sending messages on the internet when the internet was firstly used. The second picture, I think it's familiar for most of us because it's for what we call it a cable that is connected to the internet source, and we connected the other side into a certain device, such as a computer or a laptop. The device in the third picture is very familiar for all of us because we can find it everywhere. So, as for a router, or what we call it, the device that distribute the internet for the devices in a certain place, like a class or a school, hospital, or other places. But what do you think is the relationship among these 3 pictures? The 3 pictures tell us about. Excellent. The history of the internet. So, our lesson today will be about the history of the internet. Excellent. That's great. Dear students, now please open your student's book on page 98, exercise A. Now it's time to open a student's book on page 90, exercise A. Here is what you're going to find on page 90. It's a text entitled Internet History. In this text, you're going to read about the first email, the first webcam, and the first website, and so on. So you're going to get a lot of information about the history of the internet. Dear students, be careful and follow us in the coming slide because you're going to listen to the text. Please listen to the text carefully and try to understand what is the text about. Thank you.
Module 7. Information Age. 7a. Reading.
Internet history. The first email. American programmer Ray Tomlinson sent the first email in 1971. He was also the one who decided to use the @ symbol in an email address to separate the user's name from the user's machine. This all happened before the Internet existed. At that time, a network called ARPANET was being used by the US Department of Defense. The first emoticon. The first person to distinguish a joke from a serious post by typing :closing bracket to symbolize a sideways smiley face was computer scientist Scott Fahlman. He was worried about people misinterpreting comments on the online notice board at Carnegie Mellon University, so he posted a message on the 19th of September 1982 that read, "I propose the following character sequence for joke markers: : closing bracket." The first malware. From the beginning, programmers experimented with viruses to see their effect on a network of computers. The first virus was called the Creeper virus and was created in 1971. It displayed a message that said, "I'm the Creeper, catch me if you can," but it didn't do any harm. The first true malware on the internet was created by Robert Tappan Morris, a student at Cornell University in 1988. It was called the Morris worm, and it spread across the internet. The first website. The World Wide Web was created by Tim Berners-Lee, a physicist working at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, back in 1990. The first website was info.cern.ch, and the first web page on this site had information about the World Wide Web project. You can still see a copy of that original web page on CERN's website. The first webcam. Webcams are used all over the world for video links, video conferences, and security surveillance. However, the first webcam was created by researchers in a computer lab at Cambridge University in 1991 to see if there was any coffee in the pot. The camera, which was pointed at the pot in the coffee room, helped people in other parts of the building see the coffee situation and avoid any pointless trips. The first wiki. A wiki is a website where users can freely create and edit web page content. The first wiki was called WikiWikiWeb, and it was launched on the 25th of March, 1995. It was created by Ward Cunningham for the Portland Pattern Repository. The most famous wiki site today is the free internet encyclopedia Wikipedia, which was launched in 2001. The first social media site. From the early days of the internet, there were communities of people who gathered together in chat rooms and forums. The first social networking website that focused on finding and managing friends was called 6degrees.com and was launched in 1997. It had most of the functions of modern social network sites, like a list of friends, inviting new contacts, and seeing whether someone is online or not. The first YouTube video. Over 400 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute, and the number of videos on the site is presently over 5 billion and counting. The very first video on the site was a 20-second video of co-founder Jawed Karim at the San Diego Zoo. It was uploaded on the 23rd of April 2005, and it can still be viewed today.
Dear students, welcome back after listening to the text and going through the information. Now, as exercise A, students book page 90. Here we have 3 questions to discuss together. The first question is, what do you use the internet for? The second question is, can you imagine what life was like before the internet? And the third question is, what if the internet ceased to exist? How can we imagine our life without the internet? So, let's follow me in the coming slides to find answers and details for these questions. Let's go. Hello everyone. Now it's time to discuss the questions and details. So, let's come to the first question. What do you use the internet for? I think you need to think for a while and ask yourself, what do you use the internet for? So, think for a while. After that, we're going to discuss some of the uses of the internet together. Okay, now let's discuss some of the uses of the internet. We use the internet for social networking. Don't forget Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We use it for job search, electronic mail, research, online banking, education, online and live classes, cashless transactions, online booking and orders, real-time updates, advertising, navigation, file transfer, e-commerce, entertainment, and collaboration. That's great. Now, dear students, let's discuss question number 2. Can you imagine what life was like before the internet? Before you answer this question, please look at these 3 pictures. Let's ask a question about the first picture. How was communication before the internet? Was it easy or was it difficult? For the second picture, how much money did people use to pay for a lot of services before the internet? For the third picture, how was research before the internet? Was it easy or was it difficult? Okay, now let's discuss the suggested answer. I imagine it was more difficult and expensive to keep in touch with friends and family, since the only way to do that was by writing to them or calling them. Also, doing research used to be much harder because you had to use an encyclopedia or go to the local library, whereas now you can find all this information on the internet. Dear students, I hope you can imagine how internet facilitates our life and turned our life into an easy and comfortable one. Now let's come to the third question. What if the internet ceased to exist? In other words, how do you imagine our life without the internet? Hmm. Okay, now let's discuss the answer. I personally believe that if the internet ceased to exist, it would cause major setbacks. We have come to rely on it to such an extent that everything is sure to come to a complete standstill. I mean, just to think about it, the internet is a network so vast that it spans the globe. No doubt global companies would suffer massive financial losses, and there would be a major communication breakdown, which would affect both business and private citizens. Thank you. Dear students, please open your student's book, page 90, exercise B. Dear students, exercise B, what do you think these icons refer to? In order to get the answers, you need to read the text again. Please put them in the order which you think they were first used. Then read and check your answers. Dear students, refer to the text and then let's come to the next slide for the answers and details. Okay, now let's check the answers of the question. This symbol is for an email. The second icon is for the smiley face. The third one, or the three W's, is for the World Wide Web. Excellent. And what about the order they were first used? Okay, the email symbol or the email icon was first used in 1971. The smiley face was first used in 1982, and the three W's or the World Wide Web was first used in 1990. Excellent. Dear students, now let's test yourself. Are you familiar with internet? Are you familiar with the different icons on the internet? So, now you will be given some icons which are very famous on the internet. So, what you simply need to do is to think, what do these icons refer to? Let's have the icons. First, Okay, now you have some time to look at the icons and you need to know what do they refer to. After that, we are going to discuss the answers together. Let's start. Okay, the first one, it's for excellent Wi-Fi. The second one is very popular. It's for Twitter. Excellent. And that one for Bluetooth. Fantastic. The coming one is very popular among young people. It's for exactly Facebook. Fantastic. After that, it's for email. Excellent. And this one for GPS or location service. And this icon's for search icon. And this one, it's for signal strength, which we usually have a look at them on our mobile phones. The last icon is for a very famous network, which is having a lot of activities here in Qatar. It's for Ooredoo. Excellent. Good job. Dear students, now it's time to test yourself. Dear students, now please read the text on page 98 and answer the following questions. Here you can find out 5 questions. Pause the video for some time. Try to find answers for these questions. After that, play the video again. You will find the answers in the next slide. Dear students, now it's time to check your answers. Here are the answers for the questions. Dear students, at the end of our lesson, thank you very much for watching. Till we meet again, wish you all the best. Thank you and goodbye.